Of course, when you talk to men, testicular function is probably going to scare the bejesus out of them because they're like, not my nuts, not my jewels, my
Mm-hmm.
family jewels. So interesting discussion right now on Fidogia agrestis. There are some really profound benefits to it, allegedly, through certain animal studies, but then also there are some very profound detriments according to other animal studies. This is a very newly heard of for most people who are in the industry who are interested in learning about this. Fidogia agrestis is something that is newer and it's exciting. So obviously companies are going to jump on it. And this is the first one I've seen that has jumped on it in their own blend. But I am not certainly safe. I don't feel safe about Fidogia. I personally did not take it. And I talked to Farhan about this too and explained to him why I wouldn't take it. But there is something to be said about these companies now with all these fancy ingredients. They have the Fidogia, they have the Tonkat, they have all these big words and these big ingredients.
Especially with the Fidogia, because that's the one thing everyone's like, what the fuck is that? I gotta try it. There's some value in having pause to that, to look at it, because even here, I pulled up on Examine, which even Mr. Huberman always talks about, love Examine, and always brings it up on his podcast. They mention for testosterone, they show fairly remarkable increases in testosterone in rat studies over the course of 5 days, which is pretty insane. However, the possible toxicity manifests after a month and may interact with the testosterone boosting properties, and you could be worse than you started. So it could be like a short-lived kind of
boost.
Yeah. And cycling, I mean, we don't even know what would be optimal with the cycling, because that may be one way to get around toxicity. Who knows? You could diligently cycle. We don't know. That's ultimately it. No one truly knows quite yet. But the mechanism that I think Huberman mentioned in one of, I don't know if it was the Joe Rogan one or his separate one, but he talks about it being like an LH boosting sort of mechanism.
Pulled one up that talks about the effects of oral administration of aqueous extracts of Fidogia stem on some testicular function of male rats. The conclusion here reads that our results have indicated that an aqueous extract of Fidogia stem variously alter the testicular function indices investigated, and this may adversely affect the functional ability of the rat testes, most especially at higher doses of 50 and 100 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. There was another article that I was going to send you as well that talked about the effects on the liver and the kidneys, which is more, of course, when you talk to men, testicular function is probably going to scare the bejesus out of them because they're like, not my nuts, not my jewels, my family jewels. So obviously that's the one that's been getting a lot of attention for people who are like, hey, watch out for Fidogia. But I think that just equally as important are your internal organs. Yeah. It's called the mode of cellular toxicity of aqueous extract of Fidogia agrestis stem in male rat liver and kidney. So this was all rats, of course, because we don't have any human studies on this yet.
Mode of cellular toxicity, aqueous extract, Fidogia agrestis stem in male rat liver and kidney. Let's see. So disruption of the ordered lipid bilayer of the plasma membranes in hepatocytes and nephrons. This might have resulted from peroxidation of the polyunsaturated fatty acids on the membranes of the hepatocytes and nephrons made possible by functional groups, or the product of metabolism of the extract. So depending on how Fidogia is ultimately metabolized in the body, it may be damaging that lipid bilayer in the, the liver and kidney. It's compromising the integrity of the plasma membranes. Then that's, not a good effect. And it may not be the thing that hurts in the end, but it's leading those organs to be hurt by lifestyle factors that probably are not ideal, such as alcohol, such as
that's a good point.
Sugar overload. And this is a rule I also have. So, of course, I'm not perfect all the time, but if I am not doing something good, eating something high in sugar, and it's just one of those those days, then I'm definitely not going to get sun exposure. So I think there's kind of a lifestyle thing. If you're doing well and you're just fucking like very aligned, then these things could possibly be fine. I mean, this still needs to be studied more before I can recommend it. But if you're dialed in and doing well, you may be fine. But if you're not, then you're opening yourself up to possibly a multiplication of issues.
I'm good with my T levels. I'm taking my
Yeah, dude.
Tomcat. I'll take my time and trust it. I don't need any extreme. Like, I'm not like, oh crap, I need this. I need to take whatever it takes. I've got
Right.
it dialed in. The lifestyle's dialed in. I could do more time at the gym. There's things that I know I can make an improvement on now, but there's no part of me that's like, yo, I need to take something else to get my T levels up.
Right.
That's not my motivation right now. I'm very, very happy with where I'm at and want to continue that and
Yeah.
taking the benefits of the herbs and getting the benefits from the inflammation, anti-inflammation. But I'm not at a point where I'm like, maybe I should try Fedosia. I mean, if I were at that point where it was like TRT or Fedosia, I mean, I'm not a doc, but if I was deciding between those things, maybe I'd be way more interested in Fedosia and trying to get a Fedosia Tonkat blend and trying to get whatever it takes to get my T levels up to a normal range. But at that point, it's just not worth it at a certain level, especially guys
Yeah.
who are like, high T or pretty good T. And they're like, yo, bro, I need to take this Fedosia. Or the guys who are even more funny where they're like, yo, man, my T level is only 600. I need to take TRT stat, yo.